The button is clicked. We are live. Hello, all Flippin Tin listeners and tin flippers. This is episode 28 of Flippin Tin. As always, I'm Jake.
And I'm Gabe.
And this episode, Sky is not able to attend. So if you're watching the live, you see our buddy Jack down below now. Jack's been a frequent flyer on on the show. So he's been doing a lot of herping with us recently. So figured today is going to be more of a kind of catch up and just talk about random stuff and talk about our recent trip to Rock Hill a little bit more in depth. I know me and Gabe touched on it a bit last episode, but figured we'd go through some pictures and talk about it a little bit more. Talk about Jack's season because Jack's just over there destroying it this year.
Not
You
anymore.
eating a bowl of cereal or something, dude?
No, I'm eating dinner. Chicken fried rice, baby. I've been changing turtle waters all afternoon. I haven't had a chance to eat.
Yeah, I hear you, man. But yeah, I mean, it's been a little slow for most everybody except Gabe, maybe.
And it's been kind of slow for me over the past week and a half.
Yeah, I think it's going to pick up though because of all the rain we got. To be fair, I also really haven't done shit since Jack's. I really haven't been out much because I've just been every weekend lately has been something. I was in the mountains the weekend before last on a motorcycle ride and way too cold to herp. And then me and Smitty did a road cruise. What was it last? What was it on Friday or Saturday? Last Saturday. But which, of course, the road delivered. We did not get skunked, but it wasn't popping. But we've gotten a shit ton of rain. Gabe, has it been the same by you? All the rain?
Oh yeah. I'm actually planning to go out within the next night or two to look for muds. It's been perfect.
Yeah. It was kind of weird because it was weirdly cold the night me and Smitty went. It was it got down to 74 that night.
74 is good. I mean,
Yeah,
it is on that borderline of being a little cool.
yeah.
But
If it's gonna be 74, I want it to have just rained.
yeah,
You know what I mean? Going out either in the rain or right after. It had rained the day before, and a little bit of a cold front came through. So I think that may have had something to do with it, because it was getting down. That night was 74, but it was in the high 60s that morning.
We've gotten some cold, it got down to the 50s last week here.
Yeah.
Out of nowhere, and it's basically June, or I guess it is June now, but it was basically June then, and it shouldn't be that cold. So
yeah,
messing shit up.
It's a weird year, man. Just in general, between for one, it freaking snowed out here, which is very rare. And then it was very dry for several weeks. We got no rain. Now it's pouring rain, but it pushed in some more cold.
well, I think in the next couple nights it's going to be good because
yeah, for sure.
Typically when these rain fronts move in and they're cold on the front end, a warm spell comes right on the back end.
Yeah.
So tomorrow night, the night after, it's the low is 74. So by 9 o'clock, it's still going to be 75, 76.
And that's personally for road cruising, that's where I love it. I want that 75, 76 right after a rain, boy. Ooh.
Oh, it's me, man. It's me. I've had some nights like that where we've had 30 plus snake nights just in a couple hours.
Yeah.
Granted, a lot of them were Nerodia, but I mean, when you have to stop,
that counts.
Snakes, man.
Snakes. When you got to stop every 5 to 10 minutes to move one off the road, that's a good night, and it's the conditions got to be just perfect.
Shit, I might see what old Smitty's doing tomorrow because, oh, I guess it's not supposed. It says tomorrow's a 40% chance of rain, but it's not showing any until like other than early this morning. So, but it's supposed to be 83 at 8 o'clock.
Yep.
So it might be money, especially with all the rain we've gotten recently. Tonight actually would have been a great night to go.
I was literally thinking to myself, Sky was able to come on tonight. I was about to be like, all right, fellas, I got a dip. I walked outside just a minute ago and was like, oh my God, the snakes are moving.
Yeah. Yeah. But Flippin Tin comes first.
That's right. That's right.
We're committed.
You hear that, everyone? We're sacrificing.
Yes. We should be catching snakes right now, but we're here. Jack, has it been raining a bunch by you too?
Yeah. It's like I haven't had to fill up the turtle ponds, which is nice because they're just
It's been so nice.
staying full. But yeah, it's been raining a ton. It's been cold. And I've been stupid busy, so I haven't gotten out. I think I've gone out twice since I saw you guys, but it was weird because it was like right after I saw you guys, then it got cold again, like real cold.
Yeah.
Like literally that weekend was when it transitioned into being cold, and then it just started raining, and it was like kind of warm, and it's just been kind of shitty out, honestly. I mean, good, but like it's been a lot of rain, but we need it because shit was dry. So
yeah,
the frogs have been going
really
crazy.
dry. Yeah, it was really dry for over a month.
Yeah.
Like if you're not from like the general southeast area, like you don't really understand the type of rain we get here on a very frequent basis. And the fact that it was springtime and we didn't get rain for over a month was kind of insane. And now like a summer, like what officially quote unquote started this week or something.
Mm-hmm.
And it was in the high 60s, low 70s.
It's unheard of.
Yeah. It's very, very odd for this area. Like normally by the time summer actually technically hits here, you're waking up and it's 83 to 84 degrees out and it's hitting the high 90s middle of the day.
I'm not ready for it.
Well, it started too because like last summer, towards the end of summer, we didn't get enough rain, and then it went through winter, didn't get enough rain, and then it really didn't get enough rain in spring. So it was like it's been months that honestly we've been going through this. So,
dude, the amphibians like they're gonna have a hard one this year because, like you said, since last fall, we haven't gotten near the rain we need, and the amount of breeding ponds I've seen that are dry or barely any water in them, we need this rain.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. No, it's been good. Me working in stormwater, I was just standing outside of my office yesterday, just watching all the rain come down, and I was like, yes,
more business.
Yes.
You just see dollar signs.
Good job security, baby. But yeah, so, and that's the other thing. I just recently got a new job at work, or I work for the same people, but I got a new position, and that's been something.
Been a grind.
Sure. Yeah, dude, it's been nuts. Meetings after meetings after more meetings. So, but all good things. But I guess I'll kind of start with the recent outing me and Smitty did on Saturday. It wasn't a great night, but it certainly wasn't bad. We found 3 copperheads, a garter, and a ribbon, and I believe that was it. The ribbon kind of scurried off pretty quick. Of course, your obligatory copperheads out there all the time.
Orchestra done, and I liked it.
Yeah, no, those things are full force out there, man. It's kind of wild.
I was shocked Smitty got that one to bounce on that hook that well.
Yeah, he was messing with it for a little while, but he finally got it to stay on the hook, which was good. But yeah, so that was not a whole lot, but it was fun. It was good to just get out. I also recently got a light bar for my truck that I have not installed, and I need to do that like yesterday because man, after I was never like that guy. I was like, man, I need extra lights. It's fine. And then I road cruise with Jack, and I was like, this is what life could be like.
Yeah.
It was freaking nuts, man. So I'm excited
Honestly,
to get that on.
the best time to have a light bar is right at that golden hour where
Yeah.
it's kind of just dark enough that you
God.
can't see good, but it's still light enough that you can't see good. And it's
Yeah. It's like it's dark enough to where it's hard to see, but it's bright enough to where your headlights don't do shit.
Yep,
Right.
exactly.
It's stadium lighting then with the light bar. It's like Friday night lights out there.
Dude, it was nuts. I can't imagine it now with the second one you had.
Yeah, dude. I'm blinding everybody. I was driving through my neighborhood with it on the other day, and I swear I almost killed a lady. Like she was driving the other way, and I was like, she can't see for the rest of her life. That's it. So
He's blind now. Damn it, man.
Abby keeps telling me I look like a douche, but I'm like, it's for the snakes, so I have a reason.
Well, douchebags are fucking sweet. Call me a douche, baby.
Jack, you got to get a sticker for the back of your truck that says, I'm not a douche. I just like road cruising.
The lights are for the snakes.
Yes.
No more braking for rope and all the other crap you see on the roads. I can see that shit from a mile away.
Yeah, I think I still need glasses for that piece to be fixed because my eyes are so bad. I'm just like, if it's straight and long, that's a snake.
Everything's a pop one.
Yeah.
Oh my god, everything looks like a pop one. They're all brown and black. Oh man. Well, Gabe, tell us about your last outing.
I had a group of naturalists come out my way for a weekend event that they do, and me and a few friends hung out and cruised some pygmies and got my second eastern king snake of the year. Which
Piece of shit.
Here's
Yeah,
the weird
I'm so mad at you.
Here's the weird part. I wasn't even expecting this. I cruised that thing at 8:30 at night.
Yeah, that blows my mind. Like
I was like, it was just like the first third of it coming off the road. And I stopped and I was like, that looks like that's a king snake. And I got out and I looked at my buddy. I was like, that's a king snake. He's like, oh yeah. And I'm like, no, I don't think you understand. That's diurnal. It's out here right now.
yeah.
So anybody listening, Gabe, why don't you elaborate a little bit more as to why king snakes, it's rare to see one at that time other than being a diurnal species?
Yeah, so king snakes, a lot of times, I mean, they are diurnal, right? So they are active during the day. They eat mostly other snakes in the wild, right? And so they're going to be, scent trailing and looking during the day for other snakes to eat. It's very rare that these guys are active at night. And I think the only reason why I found this one at like 8:30 was I was catching its last bit of movement of the day, going back to wherever it was going to hold over for night. And the only reason it probably moved quite that late is because it was one of those days. It was like 92 degrees. We've had a few of them so far. So it was hot as hell that day. And so other than it being like in the mid 90s or higher, those guys aren't going to move probably much past, I'd say, an hour before dark. If you're lucky. I mean, most of the time I'm finding kings between, 9 o'clock in the morning till like 2 o'clock in the afternoon.
Yeah, it seems like, especially during the summertime, as soon as that heat of the day comes out, they're going to kind of dip off for the night.
Notice that they're typically some of the first ones that start kind of going down for winter when it gets a little cooler.
Oh, really?
They'll also be like some of the earlier ones to come out.
I think that partially has to do with their, being such a dark species that we have here. It's kind of like the black racers, like around here, at least. Black racers are some of the first snakes you see as it starts to warm up, and I think it's just generally that heavy melanin on a lot of them, and I wouldn't see why kings would be any different. If anybody doesn't know, we have eastern king snakes here, or eastern chain kings, and they're very, very dark species. So I think that plays a role in it for sure.
They look like this.
Yeah.
There you
I wonder too if it has anything to do with like them trying to be up and ready to go before the other snakes are coming out, and so they're ready to like consume.
That's
them.
actually, I didn't think about it that way. Yeah, they might have like areas that they know snakes come out of, so they get into an ambush position before when they know they're coming out.
Or they can just get all the snakes that are kind of weak coming out of brumation and in shed, like things like that. Like,
oh, you're talking about brumation.
Like after, like in the spring when they come up, like
yeah,
snakes that are like weak and in shed and look a little like crap after brumation, they can just take them out pretty easily.
Yeah, easy meals.
All theoretical.
Yeah, but and that's why like. Yeah, I like conversations like that because it just makes you think about different stuff. Because like realistically, it's probably a combo of kind of everything, But like I hadn't even really thought about something like that. It's a cool thought, But it makes sense.
Yeah, well, and it would apply to the racers too. Honestly.
Another thing we've noticed with the Eastern Kings out here, just from keeping data over the years, is that the numbers in the Francis Marion out where I'm at, they've been like severely declining. Like I used to see, no, I wouldn't say severely, but it's a noticeable decline. I used to see them, I wouldn't say all the time, but I'd say a lot more frequently, even 10 years ago. I could road cruise a couple of months just on my way back and forth to town. These two I found this year. It's the first two I've seen in almost 2 years in the forest. Wow. And I'm out there every day.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a good sign that you've seen two this year.
It is. It is. But I'm almost wondering from, if I remember correctly, around the time we first started seeing SFD pop up on occasion around here is kind of around the same time that these guys, I've noticed their numbers have been declining. And I'm wondering if maybe, and this is all theoretical, I don't think anyone's studied it enough to see for sure if this is the cause or part of the cause, but being snake eaters, you would assume that those guys would be one of the top species affected by SFD because they're coming in contact with more snakes. Because what are they going to do? They're going to go after, like Jack said, go after the weaker, easier to get prey item snakes,
aka snakes who might already have SFD.
Snakes who might already be sick and weak from SFD.
Yeah, and it's also like I wondered too. Because I know this is a completely different disease, but crypto, I think it is. Oh no, I'm actually thinking of pine snakes. I don't remember how. Maybe no, that was dumb. Never mind. I take it back. I was gonna say I thought king snakes showed signs really bad when they got crypto, but it's actually the opposite. They hide it very, very well.
It's the pythons and stuff that really just.
Well, Pituophis, if you have
pits too,
if you have crypto, like pits are the first ones to show it. King snakes actually hide it very, very well.
They can be almost, I wouldn't say carriers, but almost like carriers. Like they can,
they'll be symptom free for the most part, like as long as they're healthy. But pits are the exact opposite. They're almost like a what's the word for
indicator?
Yeah, they're almost an indicator for it. I was thinking a canary in the coal mine.
Oh yeah,
type of thing, But it's kind of shitty to look at it like that. But I mean, it's kind of true. If you have pits, and if they get it, they're done.
You just gotta, keep pits and kings. There you go.
Yeah, easy.
So what you're saying is, from a risk-based perspective, you should always have Pituophis.
I mean,
yeah, exactly.
If you want to be safe,
it's protocol.
Keep some Pituophis, But yeah. So that's all interesting. Then king snakes are fun, man. Dude, that's one species that I rarely ever find. I've found one here my entire life, and then I found one in Georgia.
Dude, you know what the weird part is that I've seen a lot with our king snakes? they seem to thrive on the edge of like towns. Like they seem to thrive in like, you know, remnant habitats with developed neighborhoods around. Like human encroachment doesn't seem to affect them like it does, say, a pine snake or say, you know, in any other normal, like rattlesnakes and stuff, right? Eastern kings, I feel like we see more in the town, you know, down the road. I see more posts on local ID groups and stuff from the town down the road than I see in the forest.
Yeah, dude. Growing up, we lived in like a developed subdivision, and that was the most common snake I would find. Like going across my front doorstep. My neighbor in my current neighborhood has seen him in her front yard. Like I found 7 of those at my house, like growing up.
So I have a theory behind this. All right, I have a theory behind this. Because of human habitation in neighborhoods and people putting bird seed and all this stuff. So how many more of the common species do you see in neighborhoods? Like, well, not for me, but for you guys, decays, right? Decays, eastern rat snakes, garter snakes, and like sometimes
copperheads.
A lot
of copperheads. Yeah.
They all thrive, and usually when they're in an area in a neighborhood, there's a shit ton of them, right?
Yeah.
So I'm wondering if you lose your biodiversity and overall, but the species that hang on there, so well that they boost their numbers, you know, tenfold. And now these king snakes in turn have a shit ton of food to eat in these neighborhoods versus how much farther they'd have to go for the same amount of food in a larger area like the forest.
And in the same token, if it's heavily developed, it's less area for said snakes to hide.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's more like a buffet for them. Like, oh, you can only go so far.
Well, and the other thing that I think ties into it that people don't think about is even in communities like around here that absolutely hate snakes, right? Everyone knows a king snake, and everyone's like, don't kill the king snakes. The king snakes eat the other snakes. So they're one of the few snakes that people will go out of their way not to harm. Right. And so that also bolsters their numbers.
Yeah, it's a good point.
That's wild. It's like snakes across the board are like threatened by humanity, but then the one snake that's not threatened by humanity is going to get taken down by SFD, a natural fucking illness. Like, you know, that's crazy.
Well, they did a study recently on mortality rate of king snake eggs and hatchlings because of fire ants. And my God.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I'll have to try to find the link and send to y'all, but it's scary. Like, people don't realize how much damage fire ants alone do.
Yeah, dude. Fire ants are nasty, man. They're bad little creatures.
I hate them.
Yeah, they suck. It was funny. Side story. Everybody knows I was born in Wisconsin. I still have a lot of family out there. And if you're from the Southeast, fire ants are pretty much, second nature. They don't have fire ants in Wisconsin, and they came down here, or some family came down here, and my dad was telling them, like, look, if you're walking around the yard, you step in something soft, like pick it up and check and make sure it wasn't an ant bed, because they'll swarm you, tear you up. Dude, it wasn't but a few hours later, I look outside and I see my little cousin on the ground, like wiping off his feet and like freaking out. I was like, Evan, what are you doing? He's like, I stepped in ants. God damn it.
Fire ants, palmetto bugs, and those hornets that burrow in the ground are like the things that we keep.
Cicada killers, man. Cicada killers won't bother you.
But they'll scare a carpetbagger right away, man.
Oh, absolutely.
They'll scare them right back up north.
Don't forget about the big velvet ants.
Yeah, those too.
Yeah, those are cool. For me, honestly, ants suck. The ones that I hate the most are like freaking yellow jackets.
Yeah.
And
little angry packages of spite and hate.
Dude, and they're terrible, man. Because like if you try and kill them, they just attack worse. Like you just have to go and hope for the best. And because like my buddy tells the story about, he was a surveyor, and he had a guy that there was a yellow jacket nest, and the guy was like, I'm gonna throw a rock at it, and he was like, dude, don't do that. Like, they will come after you. No, man, I don't give a fuck, blah blah blah. This dude started throwing shit at the ground at the nest, and he said he watched him fly right by him to go after the dude that was throwing stuff, because like they can track, that line. Dude, and they tore him up. He said he could hear him nailing this dude, man. It's like, golly, dude, that's
they're not to play with, man.
No, that's a hard lesson to learn right there. No. But anyways, we got off track there for a little bit. Gabe, anything else to tell us about your most recent outing?
As Keller's pointed out on the chat, sorry, Keller, I have been finding a lot of pygmies.
Yeah, fuck you, Gabe, honestly.
So, a lot of pygmies. I found a nice big gravid female banded water snake today.
That thing was sweet.
Oh yeah.
That thing was sweet.
Dark black with just that faint red striping.
I need a black one day, man. I need one in my life. They're my favorites.
To say once you go black,
Yep.
All right.
Honestly, though, I think I have a friend of mine who has a local wild type that are that real dark black. If he still has them and he goes to breed them, I'll let you know.
Yeah. Please.
Yeah, they're beautiful.
That one me and Sky found out by you, Gabe, road cruising, just super dark with bright red bands coming up, and that belly was like fire orange, dude. Oh my god, one of the nicest bandits I've ever seen.
Wait, you sure it was a banded?
Yeah, 100%.
That like belly had pattern on it.
Yeah, it had pattern. Like
orange, right?
Huh?
It was still orange on the belly.
Oh yeah, it was orange on the belly.
Intergrade, because I've found a couple of intergrades out here before.
It looked exactly like the one you sent today. Like jet black, and it had like the side bands. It was just oh my gosh. Let me see if I can pull up a picture, because I'm always.
But you guys found one that you thought was a hybrid.
I said it was a hybrid. Gabe says no. So
no, I don't think that one was. But I'll have to look back through my photos. It's like from probably 5-6 years ago. But I have a couple pictures of some that I'm like 100% certain they're hybrids. And you can kind of look at them and tell they look funky. They genuinely look like a mix of the two.
And that's what I thought. That's what I thought this one was. It was the one we pulled out of the ditch, and me and you sat there and argued about it for I don't know how long. But I was like, Gabe, shut the fuck up. Like,
I genuinely don't think that one was a hybrid. I'll have to find the pictures and send to you so you can cross compare. They're funky looking.
So I found a picture of the bandit. Hold on. At first you might say it's a hybrid because of the first picture, but can y'all see that?
God damn. That thing's for sure got a bit of blaster in them.
No, dude, because like that's the underside, but look at the top.
No gaster, but a bit of blaster for sure.
That's a blaster, all right. Like damn. That thing was nuts, dude.
It's beautiful, man.
Like one of the nicest bandits I've ever seen. But I might have a picture of that one that you and I are talking about.
I did also double flip a pair of red-bellied snakes the other day, along with a tantilla and
that was crazy.
Yeah. But both of the red-bellied snakes, it was both phases. It was that dark gray with the red belly, and then the like orange with the orangish red belly, and they were both side by side, coiled up. It was
crazy.
That's freaking killer, dude.
Really cool.
I want to keep some of those one day, man.
They're really cool, neat little snakes, man.
Yeah.
I mean, probably just feed them worms.
Worms, snails.
Yeah.
Well, Jack, what about you? Your most recent outing? What or your last time you found snakes? I don't know. I don't know if you
Yeah.
found anything last time you went out, but
Did I? I don't know. I've just been going like randomly. Like I'll take the dog out for a walk at the spot we went to for the Queens. Just found some Northerns or Midlands or whatever they are out there. Nothing crazy. And then was on this one trail. It's like a paved trail. It's pretty well traveled. Like there's a lot of people who walk out there. Was just taking the dog for a walk, and this like probably 5.5, maybe 6 foot black rat was going across the
I
road.
remember that. Yeah,
That thing was crazy, man. So I started sprinting with the dog, like full sprint up to this thing to get to it, because I thought it was a king snake, like a massive king snake at first. But it was a black rat, and I got up to it, and then I was trying to pull it off the side into the road so I could take pictures of it and stuff. And had the dog. I had probably like 20 people around me. They were like, "What are you doing? Like, this is wild. Why are you touching a snake?" I had some like Swedish guy there asking me questions the entire time, and I could barely understand him. I'm like trying to take pictures. The dog's trying to get to the snake. The snake's like striking the entire time. I'm like, this is far too stressful. But that was cool. Got to see him. Wasn't expecting to see a snake that day, so that was cool. And then I think a week before that, I went out to my road cruising spot where I took y'all, and got a couple decays and a nice black rat out there. But just normal stuff, decays and black rats and northern waters. But you know, snake's a snake. It's good to see a snake. So it's probably the most black rats I've seen in a year, honestly. Maybe not, but I think I'm up to 7 black rats on the year. So
dang, okay.
Yeah, which is cool because like I was kind of telling you guys before the trip, it's kind of just like luck of the draw if you're gonna find one. It's like, especially because I don't have like boards to go flip, and I feel like that's a more reliable way to get them. They're just not super common road cruising. For whatever reason. So it's been cool to be able to hike some up, road cruise some. We found that one on the tree that you guys saw, and then just kind of all over the place. But they're always fun to find black rats, especially when they get big, man, because they're chunky and they're big.
Well, talking about road cruising rat snakes, Gabe, maybe you can concur on this. I find way more hatchlings to yearling rat snakes road cruising than I ever have adults. Like, is that a pretty common thing for you?
I think I've seen more subadults to adults road cruising this year than I have hatchlings. I think I've only road cruised 3 hatchling eastern rats and a couple hatchling corns this year. Everything else has been subadult to adult.
Yeah, see, it's been opposite for me, and that's been forever. Like,
probably
I'm not saying never. Last year, I road cruised a just freaking beef bus of a yellow rat on my road, but every other one I found one like young adult. It was probably about 3.5 foot, but everything else has been baby to yearling.
Sounds like a really good 2 years of hatching probably up there. You probably had some really good reproductive rates over the last couple of years, and you're just getting an excess of babies, which is great.
Yeah. I ain't complaining.
Yeah.
I feel like the adults, and this is just based on personal experience, but I feel like the adults, at least with black rats, are much more diurnal than the babies are, though. Like probably all but the one I found road cruising the other night I've seen during the day. So I don't know.
Well, also it's a little bit colder up by you too, and in general in the black rat range. So I would imagine that they're probably a lot more active during the day, getting that heat, because like you're probably 10 degrees colder.
No, not that much colder.
Not that much.
It seems like it. Maybe not dead summer, but
we're probably like 10 degrees behind you guys, but like it all evens.
Right. But I'm saying you're hotter for a shorter period of time and colder for a longer period of time.
Yeah. I got you.
Whereas we're hot summer days from June, July, August, September. You're probably July, August into September, right?
I mean, this year, yeah. I mean, June usually we're up 90 to 100 a couple of days in June. So, I mean, it still gets it
gets hot.
Yeah. So,
sure.
but I think spring just takes a little bit longer, like probably like a week or 2 weeks longer to come up here than you guys.
It just seems like whenever it's like cold here, it's a solid 5 to 10 degrees colder there. It's like it's still cold, but it's a little bit colder there usually.
Well, when we were up there herping with Jack, I noticed a lot of the plants and stuff that fruit and flower that time of year had already started fruiting and flowering down here, and we're just starting up near Jack. So everything seemed to be 2 to 3 weeks behind.
Yeah. I would say that's where we're about. So,
well, y'all want to jump into the trip we did?
Yeah.
Well, so this trip I got some pictures that I took. This trip started out with Gabe. And like I said, we talked about this a little bit in the last episode. So sorry if we repeat anything, but we just kind of threw this together and didn't have anybody lined up, and Sky couldn't be here. So we're just kind of hanging out at this point. But this trip started for me at Gabe's house on a Friday. I went to him after work, and then we herped that night, found mostly pygmies. So this was one, I think this was the first one we found. Cool little picture of it. And then there's old Gabriel taking a picture of a pygmy way too close, may I say.
His head is on the other side. I am watching.
I'm just kidding. That's also a very small snake. So, and then this was the highlight for me of the pygmies because
Jesus,
that thing was on fire, dude. I mean, just a freaking smoke show. Oh, that's the better picture right there. Freaking smoke show of a pygmy, dude.
It looks like the white outlines. You know when you get jeans that have like girls wear those jeans with the white outlines around and stuff. Like that's what it looks like. It's like so defined.
Yeah,
it was definitely in the top. I'd say probably top 3 prettiest pygmies I've seen this year.
Yeah. And even now, I'm just looking at like the head stamp on it, man. It's just that thing's just oh my god.
I mean, it just looks like someone drew little maraschino cherries all the way down.
Yeah, dude, that thing, and even that, the picture doesn't do it justice. I did my best to really take a good photo to really show how this thing looked, but man, whoo,
Carpet's a run for its money with the head stamp.
Yeah, that thing was freaking nuts, man. That was definitely my favorite pygmy of the day. I think that's a different one.
Yeah, that's a different one.
Still beautiful, and got a good old copperhead. More pygmies. That was a bigger one, actually. Oh no, this was the bigger one.
That was the big chongus. Yeah,
big chongus.
I think I got a picture somewhere on my phone of that next to my snake hook, and that pygmy right there is every bit of 18 inches, maybe pushing 20. But I mean, one of the top 3 biggest pygmies I've seen in the past 2 years.
It was a big one, man. And it's so funny, like with baby pygmies, like they're so tiny, and like if you haven't road cruised them before, you would see that and be like, damn, how do you see that on the road? But then you see it on the road and you're like, oh my God, how do you miss that? You know, because it's like, it's so specific because they always have their heads.
It's always just tilted up like just that little like 45-degree angle kind of just.
And that's the dead giveaway for me. Like you can just see that little head poking up, even the smallest little pygmies, man. You can see that little head just poking up, and it's really funny. And we found what 5 or 6 that night.
I think we found 5 that night.
Yeah, it was a good time. This was another good one that was currently taking a shit.
What's it with animals taking a shit at Gabe's place? Because we saw that toad taking a shit too.
Oh, that's right. That was by you though.
Yeah, that was horrendous.
That was at Gabe's. We saw.
Was it?
Yeah, we saw a big southern toad the night after I left your place.
Me and Jack
Oh,
were together, and I saw a southern toad take the biggest shit I've ever seen a toad take. Like, it was painful to watch. Like, me, it wouldn't move out the road. And I stopped and I said, "Look, Jack, there's a toad. Let's look at it." For some reason, I was like, "Let's look at it." And we're looking at it, and I'm like, "Oh my God, it looks like it's giving birth." Like, this turd was the size of the toad.
I remember that, dude, because
Yeah.
I think Jack sent a picture to our little group, and I was like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah. I filmed the whole thing. It's going to be on Planet Earth later.
This was another pretty good size one. This one wasn't not nearly as big as the other one, but
I like how they flatten out like that too.
yeah, it's so funny, man. Makes them look big, but I always got that head tilted up, and I love the little head twitch that they do. Like they're just such funny little animals, man. They're unique little rattlesnakes. This was mine and Gabe's lifer, or maybe not lifer for you, Gabe, but my lifer Fowler's toad.
Oh no, yeah, it's not my lifer Fowler's. I thought that was the next one you were.
No. This is the Fowler's, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, that's the Fowler's.
Yeah. So this was my lifer, a beautiful little toad, man. Me and Gabe were on a hunt to get American toads as well. And the amount of toads we picked up to count warts on was just ridiculous.
I finally found my lifer American toad though. So
we saw so many. We saw so many toads that it was easy to tell them apart at a certain.
Oh yeah,
you know.
Yeah, for sure. And it was funny, like whenever we finally found the American, as soon as we saw it, we were like, "Oh, that's it!" Like because like we had seen so many Fowlers, and we saw this one that was just freaking way beefier.
Beef bus.
Yeah, freaking beef bus. So it was cool. We'll get to that one here in a little bit. This was all of our lifers spotted salamander, right?
All of our lifers spotted salamander.
Of course, Gabe found it like he always does.
That was really cool for me.
Actually. That was an awesome find, dude. Yeah. I mean, that was freaking incredible. Especially as big as it is, dude. That thing was huge.
Oh, yeah. That thing was like
I mean, granted, Gabe's got small girlish hands.
The little dainty girl hands.
Yeah, that was still a pretty big.
I mean, I bet that salamander is every bit of 5 inches or so.
Yeah, at least.
Yeah.
Well, what's crazy to me is, do you know how many fucking logs I've rolled over up here? Like
Gabe rolls one and finds
yeah. Like I found marbles, I found all kinds of like slimies and all the stuff that we have around here normally. I've never seen it spotted, and then here he goes, 20 minutes from my house. Crazy.
We were out there all of 10 minutes when we found it.
Maybe 10 minutes. Yeah.
This was the first find, other than the toad. Like this was the first like really exciting herp of the day. But this is exactly how I found it, pretty much, in that tore up log right there. That was how we found it.
Yep, I just rolled that one little cut old half rotten log up, and I was like, "Oh, spotted salamander."
That picture is actually from Jack. Jack took that one. That's a really good picture. But yeah, that was definitely one of the more exciting finds of the trip. That was freaking awesome.
That cooled my my nerves because just to provide a tiny bit of context, the weather was awful, or it ended up being fine, but it was looking like it was going to be awful. And so I called Jake the night before, and I was like, "If you guys don't want to come, like I understand." Like,
dude, he sounded so depressed. Me and Gabe, now mind you, me and Gabe are in the middle of the woods. It's pitch black out. We're out shining for freaking rough green snakes, and Jack's like, man, the weather's supposed to be really bad. I don't want you guys to drive all the way up here and not find anything. I was like, dude, shut the fuck up. Like, this trip's already started. We're coming up. It doesn't matter. Right. We're coming to see you.
Yeah.
Because half of it was we wanted to see your collection too. Like,
yeah, true.
I needed some turtles in my life, Jack. I had to come see the turtle collection.
For sure.
Which was awesome, by the way.
Oh, fantastic.
It's gonna be bigger. Gotta move first.
And was this I know like you've taken people herping like Zach and stuff, but were we the first ones that specifically came from out of town to come herp with you?
Yeah.
Really? So
Yeah.
yeah, the pressure was way up then.
It was high. Yeah. So this gave me a little bit of relief for sure. I was like, all right, we got some lifers. We're good to go.
Yeah, we got something. It ended up being an awesome trip, dude. Man, we freaking killed it.
Killed it.
Yeah. The weather held out too, so it's good.
This was the black rat that Gabe spotted. Even dude, this was almost as good as Jack's coach whip spot. I'm not going to say better because Jack's spotting that coach whip was incredible. But the fact that you spotted this, so I'm gonna paint a picture for everybody real quick. Me and Jack are up the trail a good bit, and we hear Gabe yell "snake." I was expecting, a snake in the path or right off the path or something. Gabe somehow from a trail looks over in this small tree. This rat snake is not big. It was maybe 1.5 feet, 2 foot.
Yeah, it was maybe 15 inches.
Yeah. Gabe saw this thing from 15, 20 feet from off the trail.
Not 30 foot off the trail, man. It was
it was just incredible. You look over, the thing's on a branch and little rat snake in this little tree. And somehow he sees the fucking thing. And I'm like, what? How?
I'm literally like, it's right there, Jake. Jake's like, where? I'm like, it's right there, Jake. Jack's like, where's it at? I'm like, it's right there. Point to the tree.
Yeah, I thought you were already at it when we walked up though.
I was standing on the edge of the trail waiting for you to come over to it. I wasn't all the way up to it yet.
It looked like a twig though. It did not.
It did.
Well, the only part that I saw that I could identify was you see the back tail hanging down.
Yeah.
The sun just hit it just perfectly, and it was wet from the rain. So I just saw a 3-inch long, crinkly, shiny black tail. And I was like, that's a snake tail.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was one of those that when you saw it, you're like, oh my God. But it was one of those, everybody has those scenarios that you see something like that and you're like, I don't know how I spotted that. It's sheer, yes, part of it is knowing what you're looking at, but it's also the luck of looking at that exact tree at that exact time.
If I had not turned my head and scanned that exact area at that moment, I probably would have walked past and never seen that rat.
Me and Jack walked right by it. Yeah. Was.
This is why numbers are important and
right.
having more people out there.
And that's also why I like being a little spread out. I don't like when Jack pulls I'm walking 2 miles ahead of you and can't hear me scream.
Silent walk off and be gone.
Yeah. Jack will just because me and Jack are very different when we're walking.
Yeah.
I'm very slow and methodical, really paying attention. Jack's fucking, we're going, we're moving. Just
ADHD. I can't. Yeah. I gotta keep going.
He's trucking, man. Especially after that coach whip, dude. I swear he was on a mission after that to find another one. But regardless, this was definitely one of the best spots of the day from Gabe. I mean, this was freaking incredible.
I was surprised how black it was at that size too.
Yeah, it was very small. And that was another pic. It started to move along the tree a bit. I tried to take some cool, more portrait style photos. And this is a video of my best interpretation of Rob Christian. Shout out, Rob. I pet it on the chin a little bit. This was actually really cool to do because, for the record, we did not grab this snake whatsoever. We let it be. We took our pictures. And then I just I saw his head come over the edge, and I just very slowly put my finger under him, lifted him up off the branch. And this video was much longer, but you see I came back into frame there because I wasn't paying attention to my camera. And I fell way off the snake, but it gave him a little chin scratch and he was totally chill. So that was cool. Really cool experience. This was my South Carolina lifer black rat. I had found one in Georgia before, but never South Carolina. So, and now I didn't feel good about it, but before taxonomy changed with rat snakes, yellow rats and black rats were technically the same thing. They were both Eastern rats. So I was like, I really want to find a black rat in South Carolina, but technically I don't need to add this to my lifer list because taxonomically they are the same. But now that is not the case. So I was like, okay, now I have to get one because they are different now. So getting to cross that off was awesome for me. That was the first healthy black rat Gabe had seen in South Carolina.
Yes, the only other South Carolina black rat I had seen was like laying in a creek trying to heal from what looks like an old wound from a bird.
Wow, dude, that thing,
it was technically alive and it was moving. Like, I don't know if that thing even made it. I was like, here, let me put you back down. Like, best of luck, bud.
Yeah, good luck, buddy. Because, dude, that thing looked rough.
It was rough.
I mean, good God, it had a gaping hole in its side, and it looked like it had SFD.
I could legit see a rib, but like it looked like it was healing, but it also had like a maggot in there. And so,
oh God,
I was like, I don't know. The maggots could keep the necrotic flesh away. It could heal up and survive. I'm not gonna like put this thing out if it's got somewhat of a chance to potentially make it.
And dude, that's the other thing about snakes, man. They can be so resilient. So it's like, unless its literal guts are hanging out because somebody just hit it with a car, I really don't, quote unquote, put snakes out of their misery unless it's very obvious and they're suffering.
Yeah, it's
in that scenario, man, you never know. Is the probability of it going to die high? Yeah, but they're resilient, and I'd rather give them a chance, man.
Yeah,
but moving on. This was another Gabe. What was the salamander 2-line?
The 3. I believe it's the 3-line. So you count the black lines. So it's got that one on the back.
Okay, yeah.
2 on the side. Yeah.
So this was a 3-line salamander that Jack flipped. Me and Jack were on our own little escapade finding stuff in creeks, and Jack flipped this, and then he flipped my lifer Queens. But I really found my true lifer myself a little while later, but you know, whatever.
Dude, this is my favorite type of herping. Like that makes you feel like a kid being in a creek just flipping rocks,
yeah,
man. Like that's my favorite,
dude. And I'm sorry, but especially me, I specifically wore my hey dudes and shit that I really didn't care about because I was like, I will dive in the water. I am getting wet, and that's gonna be a story for in a little bit. But I was full force walking through the creeks, just feet wet. My hey dudes were covered in sand. I still have sand in my hey dudes. I have to put them through the washing machine.
Before this, actually, and it doesn't coincide with the other story, but you were already wet here because Jake forged the river. And crossed out to some island, and Jake's in the middle of the river on an island, just hanging out.
Dude, I was on a mission. I was like, because I had fallen in something and got one of my feet just soaking wet, and I was like, well, that's that. And so there was like this island in the middle of this river, and the water was moving pretty quick.
Mm-hmm.
And I kind of looked out and I saw this kind of line of rocks that led right to it. I was like, fuck it, I'm going. So they just kind of dipped off, and next thing I know, I'm in the middle of this freaking river hopping on rocks out to this island and didn't find shit. So that was great. But it was still very cool. It was a lot of fun. I was full blown, like, also I went all out.
The tiger lily bloom, we got there right when it started. That was so cool.
That
like
was really cool.
All the tiger lilies across the river just and starting to bloom was beautiful.
Yeah. Those are my favorite, man. They're so cool.
This was the Queens that Jack flipped right after that salamander. It was literally a matter of minutes after that he flipped this. This was the first one of the day. I was there for Jack to flip it, so this would have been my lifer. Gabe came over and got all snobby and was like, no, I wasn't there for the flip. I'm not going to count it. And I was like, yeah, well, I was, so fuck you. So technically, I had my lifer Queens before Gabe got his. So let the record show. Jack may have found it, but Gabe, you can still blow me. And then this was mine and Gabe's actual lifer. It was funny. This was what me and Gabe were actually by ourselves at this point, looking around stuff. I'm literally just in the middle of this creek walking through because, like I said, at this point, I didn't really give a fuck about getting wet. And literally, me and Gabe almost simultaneously went snake, and this thing was under the water.
It was getting it.
Yeah, it was getting it, dude. I was surprised I grabbed it, but I jumped on it and got it. It was a good bit bigger of an animal.
I just noticed it's got a nub tail.
You just noticed that?
I didn't notice it when I was holding it.
Oh, dude, yeah, that thing had a big old nub for a tail. This is actually a video I took of it. I have a release video later, but yeah, that nub looks freaking terrible, man.
I bet you
hate nubs. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I always like taking pictures like this with my tattoo there.
Sick. You're so sick.
Even though the tattoo looks like shit, I need to get it redone because the guy who did it is a fuckwad. Yeah, he definitely he had some bumps on him from, it looks like, either healed up scars or possibly nematodes, which wouldn't be unheard of for a species like this, very aquatic. So all that stuff's got all kinds of parasites in it. But man, these things were cool, man. I freaking love queen snakes. They're like giant crayfish snakes, man.
Legit. They're like the northern version of a crayfish snake.
And way bigger though.
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't say way bigger. I mean, I would say noticeably bigger, but probably by like 6 inches.
Really? I thought crayfish snakes stayed pretty small.
All I ever find is small ones, but I've seen adults that were, upwards of 10, 12, up to about a foot,
nice.
12, 13 inches.
Okay.
Queens, you're probably, what would you say, Jack? 16 to 18 inches for an adult?
Yeah, I think if you were finding 1 at 2 feet, it'd be a fucking beef bus. Like, I've only probably seen them like 18 inches max.
I would think big females could push 2 feet.
Probably. Yeah. I did see that mating pair and overhanging on the branch, and the female, the big female,
those was 2 feet, like easily.
That female was probably every bit of 18 to 20 inches. Is the biggest one I saw there, and so yeah, I mean, I wouldn't doubt if they hit 2 foot.
Yeah,
sure. They're typically 15 to 24 inches. They can reach a max of 36. That would be a 3 foot queen. Jesus,
that'd be awesome.
Yeah. They also, Jake, do you have any pictures? Because this one did it of it doing the gape.
I do somewhere, but they were really blurry.
Gotcha. And I'd never seen that before. That was a crazy behavior.
Yeah, they were. That little one was gaping a lot.
Oh,
that thing was pissed.
He was been just like a lot of the ribbon snakes do, just holding that body up and just gaping and striking and
not actually biting you or anything, but like that big defense. This was I let everybody let me release it since I caught it. This is a little release video I did. This was how we saw it right there, like moving under the water kind of thing. So that was awesome. And then it was, oh my God, one of the biggest turtles I've ever seen that wasn't a snapping turtle.
It was
dude, I'm walking down this pretty deep ditch, and I see what I can only describe as Bowser in a fucking ditch, like just a giant turtle. And at first I didn't think Jack would really care, I was like, oh, it's another freaking, what is it, a river cooter?
Yeah, it's a river cooter.
Yeah, just another river cooter. But Jack came over and was all excited because it was one of the biggest ones he'd ever seen too.
Well, Jake's like, hey guys, I got a turtle, and we start walking over there. And I'm expecting, hey guys, I got a turtle, something like 2 cheeseburgers or something, right? Not this monstrosity
of 2 dinner plates. I mean, look at the size of this thing, dude.
Yeah,
like that thing was freaking huge.
They're so much prettier than our coastal plain cooters too.
They are so. That thing was so pretty, man.
River cooters are unreal, man. Their patterning is insane.
Beautiful.
Yeah, Jack hopped right in there to grab that thing. It was cool. There's a good picture of me holding it just for size. I mean, that thing was massive.
Legit covers like the whole bottom half of Jake's torso.
Yeah. I mean, this thing was probably the biggest turtle I've seen outside of like a snapping turtle.
Yeah.
Like bigger than any slider I've seen by me. Granted, our sliders get big, but I feel like this, like the big difference, like sliders to me are much like more domed, like more circular and taller. This was so flat and like just elongated. Like it was
that really distinct taper off the back end of the shell that goes down, and then that end kind of furls just a touch on the end of those guys.
Well, if you think about it too, they're designed for the fast flowing water. It's all like water dynamics versus aerodynamics, but it's like, Jake, you saw how fast that water's moving.
Yeah.
And these things can truck upstream in that, you know?
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, it made complete sense.
Yeah. They're so flat and just made for speed, man. They're awesome.
Just so pretty, dude.
Yeah.
And this one actually had an old injury. You can see, you know, anybody watching, you can see on the show right here, a chunk of it was taken off and was actually missing its foot on that same side, I believe, as well.
Mm-hmm.
Or was it its foot, or pretty much almost?
It was basically from the knee down.
Yeah,
you're right.
And Jack, what'd you say you think caused that?
I think a snapper probably. I mean, or a raccoon, but it would.
But do you think a snapper would do that out of defense, or do you think that was like a really old injury from when it was younger and a snapper tried to possibly eat it?
I don't know. I was just like kind of looking at the way it looked. Like it almost looked like for something to go through the shell like that, you know, like it's got to have a lot of jaw pressure unless it was just chewed on.
And it certainly wasn't fresh. It was an old injury. There were no lasting problems with this thing.
But the more I think about it and looking at it now here too, like it almost looks more raccoon like, and it just kind of gnawed on the shell and then ate the leg off, because raccoons will do that for sure. So I'm almost thinking it's more like that.
Yeah. Regardless, this was one of my favorite finds, dude. Honestly, like that's rare for me to say a turtle was one of my favorite finds of the weekend, but this was really freaking cool, man. Plus, I think that was my lifer river cooter.
Jack, we're getting closer every day to bringing him.
Yeah, I know. He's coming over to the side.
No, you're not.
Yeah,
we're not even remotely.
Got a whole garage. You can put so many turtles.
Yeah.
Dude, it gets so freaking hot in there, man. And
man, $1,000
in the water.
He split. There you go.
Get there in the water, you'll be all right.
Yeah.
Nah. Nope, not for me. This was Jack's. This is your lifer South Carolina garter, right?
Yeah. I found garters. Like I've seen a lot of garters, but they've all been in North Carolina or Georgia. Right. And so seeing this one was nice too. Like that's a pretty.
Yeah, that thing was gorgeous, dude.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
So that was sick having that as a South Carolina lifer. And it's funny too, because I had been out to this spot a number of times before we went out and just hadn't seen them. And I've been in a ton of areas where garters are and just haven't seen them for whatever reason. So
I will say, like your garters up there are gorgeous.
They're so pretty, dude.
Yeah. Yes.
And this was like a textbook find too, because Zach Holland spotted this one, and it was literally sitting on top of a log, coiled up perfectly, just catching some sun, man. Like
it was literally log like right behind your arm.
Yeah, it was just perfect positioning, man. It was a really cool find. And then almost immediately after that, I found another small one on the side of the trail.
I almost think this one was prettier with all that side pattern that it's.
But it's also smaller, so being smaller, it's going to be a little bit more like poppy, I guess. with some of the coloring, but it is a little bit more busy.
Yeah.
Like the other one, a little bit more spread out with the checkered color going on here, and then this one was a lot more busy. Shout out Harry Claiborne. I didn't die from getting bit by this thing.
It's built different.
It's built different, no big deal. But yeah,
Notice how red that tongue is.
Yeah, dude, that's one of my favorite things about garters is those bright red tongues on the easterns we have here.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was a fun find. There's our American.
There we go.
That was a big boy.
Chunky.
Yeah, he was a chunky guy. But yeah, that was cool.
Oh, let's not forget Jack and his asshole self. Jack. All right, so hear me out. So we're in the park, right? And as a lot of you guys know, I also work as a naturalist and do a lot of wildlife education. And so we're taking photos of this garter snake, and this nice family walks up, and they're like, "Oh, what you got there?" We're like, "We got a garter snake." And the mom and the daughter are talking to me, and I'm showing her kid the snake, and she's like, "Oh, well, you know a lot about this. What do you do for work?" And I tell her, and she's like, "We actually live right down the road from your job. We go there all the time." And so I'm talking with them, putting on face. And as I'm doing that, this sneaky fucker down there walks off. And about, I don't know, 15 minutes later, Jack comes walking up to me with his hands closed. He goes, "Hey, Gabe, I found something for you. Open your hands." And he just drops this fucking live decay snake in my hands and goes, "There you go, buddy."
To my defense, I had to. You guys were far away, and I had to grab it, and I was like, I'm not going to make you walk into the woods for this, so I had to bring it over because it was going to dive down. But yeah, I was like, well, at least I can put one in his hands.
It's the first live one I've ever seen in person.
Suck it, Schuler. You still don't have your lifer.
Oh, yeah. Thanks, Jack.
Yeah.
And that was the one thing Jack was like, "Gabe, I'm getting you a decays. One way or another, we're gonna find a freaking decays." We got everything Jack promised me, except the freaking decays for Gabe. So
yeah,
we got one. Gabe was just busy chatting away.
Yeah.
I really want Gabe to have to do a specific decays trip where the only target of the trip is the decays.
What's gonna happen
well,
is
if he came and herped with me, if he came and herped with me more than once a fucking year, I could probably put him on 1 year.
I'd be slacking.
I road cruise him all the time.
Yeah.
Apparently other people road cruise them by my house. So I think I'm just doomed.
Yeah,
the running joke is that it's going to be the last one on my list, and I'm going to be 80 years old, and I'm going to be on my deathbed, and they're going to wheel me in a cart across the hospital parking lot, and there's going to be one just chilling at the entrance of the hospital, just in the flower bed.
And you're going to die before you get there, Gabe.
No, I'm going to drop one on his chest right as he passes. He's going to be like, "No." He's going to be gone. I swear to God, though, if you come out here and find a coral before you find a decays, I'm going to kick you in the nuts. That's not a threat. That's a promise.
I mean, the way shit's been going, go ahead and let me know when I need to wear my cup.
You're gonna feel it, motherfucker. This was a cool picture, or this is actually a video. So we obviously know where the snake is here, but this is how you would see a lot of the queens out there, just out on a limb. And I always thought this behavior was cool because water snakes do it, and it's a very they bask like this because it's an easy get out card. All they do is dive bomb off that branch and they're gone. So it was really cool to see some of the behaviors like that. There's a picture of them. I don't know if I have a picture of the breeding pair that Gabe found.
They were hard to photograph, honestly.
Oh, and this was a bird
Oh yeah,
Gabe
the
found.
solitary warblers. Yeah, those are a migratory species of warbler. One of my favorites. They call them, the nickname for them is the swamp canary, but they're really cool. But
Yeah,
prothonotary warblers.
Plathonetary warbler. That was really cool. Gabe found it. I'm a bird nerd. Everybody knows. I'm more of a wading bird guy, but seeing this guy bathe himself in this little pool was was really cool. And there were several of them around. There's a couple males, and we found a female. And you can hear Gabe in the background just educating everybody on this warbler. But very cool nonetheless.
Well, Zach found a queen snake right there too.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's right. He found another little one.
We walked right over it.
Yeah.
So this was a leopard frog, Gabe?
Yes.
Dang. Thought it was a pig frog.
The squares that are not squares.
Yeah.
Yep. The pickerel frogs, a little bit different patterning, more yellow behind the legs, a little bit more pronounced ridge.
Yeah. We said Gabe knows everything.
No. I'm just.
Gabe was like, are they squares or circles? And I'm looking at these here on the, like this right here. And I'm like, oh, that's a square. I know my shapes. I'm an adult. And I show it to Gabe, and he's like, no, those are circles. And I'm like, motherfucker, you can't tell me that's not a square.
All right, so I'm going to describe
that a freaking circle, dude.
You see how those are a bunch of little rounded.
I see what you mean, like the one here on the top, the one right here, so the one
pattern's
here.
Less busy on the pickerel, and they're going more from the nose to the cloaca versus horizontal on it.
Right.
So they're longer and they're more spread out squares. And like I said, they don't have as much of a prominent ridge pattern, and their ridge itself on their hip bones is a little bit more prominent.
Yeah.
It's an intergrade. We'll just call it even.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah.
Found both of them. This was one of the Midlands / Northerns that we found. I wasn't going to try and grab this because only its head was sticking out.
Are they lumped together again, or are they still subspecies out, or is it lumped back?
They're subspecific.
Okay, they are subspecific still. I didn't know if the new paper had lumped them or anything.
Yeah, but I feel like a lot of, like where Jack's at, it's a big intergrade zone. Yeah. Like to get true Northerns, you got to go to like more up in the country. Like, Devin finds true Northerns by him. But and then to find true Midlands, you're looking more like in Chaz's neck of the woods in Georgia and stuff. And then Jack kind of lives in a real intergrade zone, and you'll see different phases of both.
Yeah, that's what's weird to me is they're not like directly intergrades. Like they don't look like a combination. It's like where they're overlapping, you get both phases. So you get like a Midland phase, and then you get a Northern phase, which is really weird. And their pattern's completely different. So
yeah. This was the second spot we went to specifically go find these. So quick story, before we found these, we did find some at the other spot where we found the queen snakes. That ended up with me in the river. I specifically, like, we found some, I don't remember, I think it was Jack who spotted them, and Zach was kind of trying to get them. We saw two, and I immediately started handing all my stuff to Jack. I'm like, here's my phone, here's my wallet, like, take all of my stuff, because if I get an opportunity, I'm diving in this water after some. So I was fully prepped, and I'm on the edge of this bank, and it was kind of steep. I really couldn't get very close to the water, and I'm waiting there on the edge, and I can see them both, and one starts coming right towards me, and I'm waiting for my opportunity, and I should have waited because I ended up missing it. But I'm sitting there on the edge, and like I'm waiting, and I'm like, okay, I'm about to go. All of a sudden, I think it was Jack. It was either Jack or Gabe, but I heard somebody go jump. And so I did, and I knew better, and I should have waited till it got closer because it was still moving directly towards me. But I heard somebody go jump, and I guess I thought it was my brain, and so I jumped, literally like face first. It wasn't I dove in like with my feet and tried to grab it. I literally like basically belly flopped on this thing.
I
So
thought he was gonna eat shit. I was crossing my fingers.
I really did. Like, but I fell right on this thing, dude. I still have no idea how I missed it.
I don't know how.
Like, I didn't even touch it. Like, I hit the water, and it was like the thing must have moved the second before I hit the water. Because I jumped right on it. It was literally like I dove completely flat, and my hands were the first thing to go into the water, and I made sure to do that because I didn't want my feet to land and scare it.
Dude, I watched it hit the water, and I was like, he's got it. It's in his hand. He's going to pull it up in his hand. That's how close you were.
Like, I don't know how I missed it. Like I said, I didn't even touch it.
It was a Houdini snake. It wasn't your fault.
The thing just disappeared, and I sat there in knee-deep water for I don't know how long, hoping it would just pop back up because I was like, I did not just face plant into this water for nothing, dude. Like, my shoes were full of sand. I was soaking freaking wet, and I was like, I did not do this for nothing. And sure shit, I didn't get it. And they never came back. So that was great. It was fun. I'll say that. It was one of the very few times I've taken a full-on header into the water after something. So, but whatever. We found several more at the second spot. There's only one that I had a chance at grabbing, but it wasn't happening. Jack, you were right there with me when I tried to get it.
I didn't even see it. You saw it, and then you were like, snake, and then you started going after it, and I was like, I don't know where it is, and then it took off into the water, and I definitely saw that. But
yeah, that sucked. And that water was a lot more gross because it was more like a pond, and then I stuck my hand into it and pulled out.
Yeah.
It was like a drainage pond and a drainage ditch that they had converted into a pond.
Right. Yeah, it was pretty disgusting.
All right. Hold on. For the people listening, I love this pond. It's a beautiful pond. It supports lots of life.
It was pretty. It was. It had a lot of like plant growth in it, so there was a lot of algae and nastiness.
There was some needles and broken glass in that thing too.
God damn.
Gabe also found a little baby snapper in there.
Oh yeah, it's a little common snapper.
Yeah.
That was cool.
Then there was that freaking big dude floating out in the middle. That was cool.
Yeah. We found some hybrid yellow bellies and red ears.
A bunch of those.
Because this pond is like in the middle of my town. And so everybody who had a turtle at some point dumped their pet turtle there. So it's like a very large mix of yellow bellies and red ears, which is pretty interesting.
This is a video where that thing was sitting. But yeah, we found several of them out there. Then none of them were really able to grab. It was more so like just saw them and enjoyed them. And that was okay, you know. Like, I'm not one of those like, oh, I have to grab it for it to be a lifer. Like, nah, that shit don't bother me. Like, if I can see it,
identify it, counts.
Yeah. Like, because realistically, like, grabbing snakes isn't always the best thing in the world. So I tried to
coach whip.
Don't remind me. I'm still so mad at both of you guys for that.
Me too.
It still haunts me every day.
All I want to say is if I would have been there, we would have missed that thing.
If I was either in Jack's or Smitty's shoes, we would have got it.
Oh,
or if it
grabbed it, Jake.
Yeah, dude. There's no way I wouldn't. I may have missed that Midland.
Jack, you realize that you and Smitty now have lost next grabbing privilege rights.
That's okay with me. The pressure was very high.
I gave you an out.
You did.
I gave you an out.
I had to.
You had to, and I respect it. Like, I'm glad you went for it because I'm talking so much shit. Like, there's definitely a solid chance I would have missed it too. Like, it was in a really weird spot.
Yeah.
But I was like, damn, dude, like, we should have had that fucking snake, especially because 2 people literally grabbed it at 2 different points, and nobody kept hands on it.
Hey, at least you guys are seeing coach whips. I haven't seen one in the wild.
Okay, we saw Coach Whip.
At least you're seeing it. I haven't seen one in the wild in like 10 years, man. It's
I'm actually going. So next trip coming up, I'm gonna go see Sky over the 4th of July, and just go spend a weekend with him, mostly because I miss my buddy and I haven't seen him since Daytona last year. So I'm gonna go see him over the 4th of July weekend, and I told him because I was kind of weird about it, man. Like when we were in Florida, like obviously, like seeing Coach Whip would have been so dope out there, but it was also like I really want to find my first one in South Carolina. You know, like that would just be cool. Now that that's done, I'm like, Sky, number 1 priority is grabbing a fucking Coach Whip while I'm out there, because now I just want to do it. Now I just want to get hands on one. And he's got
for me.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Definitely excited to go see him. I haven't been herping with him. I don't think I've herped with him since South Florida last year. I think that was the last trip we did out there, which was awesome. That was an incredible time. But this one, it's more so just to go see Sky and hang out. We're definitely going to herp, but it's not going to be like a balls to the wall all day, all night type thing like we did in the Glades. You know, I kind of just want to go hang out and have a chill weekend with him and do some herping. So it'll be a good time. It was a perfect time because with the new position at work, I'm on a 6-month probation. I'm really trying not to take off time. And I been wanting to go see him, and luckily the 4th of July is on a Friday, and I was like, dude, this is fucking perfect. I'll either drive up Friday morning or Thursday night and not have to take off of work and hang out for the weekend. So it'll be a good time.
Because, 4th of July weekend, craziness happens.
Yeah, for sure. Well, before we jump into write-ins, Gabe, you've got a pretty cool trip coming up. You want to talk about that a little bit?
Sure, yeah. The same week you're going to see Sky, otherwise I'd be going with you. I will be in Belize. So I'll be spending a week in the Belizean jungle looking for whatever I can find. I mean, honestly, at that point, I'm going to be probably ADHD override between the plants, the inverts, the birds, and the herps. I mean, I probably will sleep very minimally that week. Yeah. And then last day of the trip, we're probably going to go snorkel on one of the Ks and see what we can see. And if we're extra lucky and blessed, we might, with the very slim chance when I say this, might luck up and see a whale shark. But
be so sick.
If that happens, like, hey, it's meant to be. If it doesn't, we still get to go snorkel for a day.
What's the main herp find out there? What's your?
Oh, bro, listen.
I know there's a list, but like, what's like top?
Oh three? God, top. I don't, man.
Top 3. I'll give you 3. Top 3.
All right. Musarana.
Interesting.
Okay.
I really want to see a Musarana. A Dorissus, the neotropical rattlesnake.
Dude, a neotropical rattlesnake. Oh my God, the way I would kill you.
Oh man, listen. I mean, that's one of the harder ones to find, but also there's the pretty high up there. I really want to see a neck-banded snake.
Really?
Interesting.
I've never even heard of that.
Dude, look up a neck-banded snake. Like it's funky looking. It's like if you did a solid half the body of the snake is solid colored, almost like a decayed snake. And then the front half of the snake looks like a milk snake or like a scarlet king snake. So it's banded black, white, and red. and then halfway down the body it just cuts off and then turns into brown. It's weird.
Interesting.
Okay.
Do they have Bushmasters there?
No, we're going to be out of the range of those. So no Bushmasters, no eyelashes.
I thought there was one like seriously venomous snake out there though. You're trying
Fertilance.
Fertilance. That was I was about to say Fertilance, but I was like, don't say it in case you're wrong. You'll sound like a fucking idiot.
I would put the Fertilance at the top of the species list, but the fact of the matter is their Fertilance down there are like our copperheads here, Jay.
Yeah.
I'm going to see a Fertilance.
Yeah.
That's freaking insane.
So,
dude.
yeah.
That's always like that type of shit blows my mind because it's like around here, like, yeah, like we have some pretty hot snakes, especially down in the low country. Like our cane breaks are fucking, they're hot. And then we have diamondbacks, which will fuck you up. But our most common venomous snake is a copperhead. And it's like, unless you have a severe allergic reaction, it's going to hurt. But like you'll be okay. Like you're not gonna you're
slim to none.
You have to be allergic and go into anaphylaxis to die from a copperhead bite. Like
you're not gonna die from the venom alone. There's gonna be underlying health.
Exactly. Like Gabe has told me before, he's like, because there's one time, the first time I went herping with Gabe, he was about 6 inches from getting nailed by a copperhead because he picked up this folded tin and it was in the fold right at the thing. And Gabe looks at me after that. He goes, Jake,
it was like 55 degrees.
Oh, no.
Or cold. It might have been colder. Like,
it wasn't that cold that day.
It's pretty cold.
The first time you and I went herping, no.
That was when we found that little cane break, right?
Little cane break, no.
No, okay.
I think you're thinking of the time Jack came out and it was freezing cold and we found that copperhead.
Yeah,
that was 40 something degrees on that.
Yeah, this was the first time I ever went herping with you when we found that giant rat snake at your uncle's property. Yeah, it wasn't. It was colder, but it was like mid-60s.
Oh yeah, no, I should have absolutely probably used a hook for that. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I mean, yeah. But Gabe looks at me and goes, Jake, I'm just gonna be real with you. If I get bit by a copperhead out here, we herping.
Like,
okay.
we go play it by ear. Like, as long as there's no heart palpitations and I'm not swelling up in my throat, like we're herping it out. Like,
yeah,
my drive, but
it's gonna suck, but we hurt. But what I was getting at with that, it's like, so for us, like copperheads are by far the most common venomous snake, probably in almost the entire state. Like they are in abundance here.
I believe they might be considered potentially the most common venomous snake along the southeast or the eastern.
They might be the most common snake.
Yeah, I was going to say
next to a black racer or something. Like extremely common. Then you go and you hear about a place like Belize, and they're like, yeah, we just have fertilances everywhere. What?
Landmines.
Like, that's freaking insane. If you don't know, fertilances are extremely toxic, will kill you. Like, it's horrible. And it's just like, yeah, they're like our copperheads.
Well, they get a lot bigger than people realize.
They get huge
and they're fucking quick. They don't just like, they are fast like not to the extent of a racer, but like they will dart off and take off. Like they're fast and twitchy. They're not like a sit and wait ambush predator like say you see a big diamondback, right? It's going to usually be sitting there. It's going to be slow chilling off trying to hide.
Right.
These things are twitchy and they will take off.
And these things are 6 foot plus.
Yeah.
Like big adults I've seen some pushing almost 8 feet.
Yeah.
Like these are very large snake. No, they're not as heavy bodied as something like an Eastern Diamondback, but they're big, they're fast, and they are extremely toxic. Like
they were telling me like, hey, they literally said like, hey, the number one thing you need to be prepared for is, to watch out for while you're out there in the jungle is don't step on a fertilance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Y'all ever seen the episode of Crocodile Hunter where he's on a canoe down the Belize river in Belize?
Oh
No?
yeah, for sure.
He finds a fertile ants like swimming across the river, and he flips it up into his canoe and then loses it in the canoe, like in his backpack or whatever.
Yeah,
Dude,
yeah.
I still watch that back and go, what the fuck? That's the scariest thing I've ever heard of. Like, that's terrifying, dude.
Right.
Well, I I would like to change one of my top 3 snakes. I would like to remove the Mussurana, and I really want to see the Bothrops, was it the Protobothrops bilineatus,
The palm pit viper.
the palm pit viper? Yeah, the dude. Like, honestly, I've been very tempted to buy a pair over the years. Those things are beautiful.
Yeah.
They're just like this cool green and teal coloration. I mean, God, they're gorgeous.
Are y'all gonna be up in the cloud forest?
No, we're gonna be I think it's like 45 minutes below the town of Placencia we're gonna be on an 1,800 acre nature preserve.
Nice.
And so we're just going to be pretty much free roaming that. And that preserve butts up to a national refuge. So we might spend a couple days going off property onto the refuge. We're allowed to. And that's kind of where we're going to be looking for probably the Dorissus. So we're going to probably just dedicate at least one whole day of trying to target, because they're literally, like, people think, oh yeah, Dorissus in the jungle. Well, actually, it's kind of this pocket right above the jungly area that's more of like a grassy, open savanna.
Mm-hmm.
It's got pine trees. I mean, it damn near looks kind of like Tillman. Honestly, it's weird, but there's Dorissus there. So it'll be cool herping a different but still similar habitat to what we have down here, but instead of looking for an EDB or a canebrake, it's like, oh shit, there's a Dorissus. Yeah.
There's a fertilance. Like, no big deal. Yeah, that's freaking sick, dude. I'm stoked for you. Well, we're at an hour and a half, boys. Let's jump into some write-ins. Gabe, I know you're gonna like this first one a lot. We talked back this picture. They didn't save in any particular order, but last episode we talked about Nippereed and finishing his European list, and he sent me a kind of a story of how it all happened with some more pictures. So I'm going to kind of leave this on, we're going to put it on a beautiful European Viper here. And while I read this, because this is incredible. He said, hey, mate, enjoyed the last Flippin Tin. So just a brief ride in to explain how I finished the Euro list. Me and Ali flew to Athens. Ali is his partner. Me and Ali flew to Athens. From there, we got a prop plane to the island of Naxos in the Greek Cyclades Islands. It was touch and go whether we would get there as it was touch and go whether we would get there, as there was a particularly bad storm. We managed to land, albeit very bumpily. 3 days of poor weather followed, with only a few Erhard's wall lizards seen. Eventually, the temps went up, and we had some better success. In a fabulous olive grove, I flipped sand boas.
Whoa.
Cool to see. I have a picture. Don't worry. Cool to see a boa in Europe. Erhard's wall lizards were everywhere, as well as Kachi's geckos. It was warm enough as yet for my target and last species, the Naxos green lizard. Ali found an Amidites viper digesting a lizard. That is the Amidites. We continued to herp the hillside as temps went up. And then in a clearing between some bushes sat a large female Naxos green lizard, an amazing sight, about as big as a U.S. leopard lizard. Shortly after, I found a stunning male out hunting, a great end to a long mission, 15 years in total. but probably nearer 12 if you take off cancer and COVID. It's been amazing to see all the reptiles and amphibians in situ, but the real pleasure has been the experience of herping some amazing places with amazing people. Now to finish the U.S. venomous list.
Bring it on.
So this is the Naxos green lizard.
Damn, that thing's cool.
Yeah,
Whoa.
dude.
Look how green it's
Yeah.
It's like
It's like they're called green lizards or something.
right.
Looks like it's like that fluorescent
Well,
green slime.
Bro, it looks
Actually,
like
this is
Mountain Dew on it.
so I'm wrong. These pictures sent out of art. These pictures saved out of order. I think these are the Erhard's wall lizards. Actually,
I feel lied to.
I'm sorry. This is the sand. I don't know why it's saved like this. This is the sand boa he found over there, which is freaking insane.
That thing's crazy.
That's another Naxos green lizard, I believe. I say all these. I don't know. I'm doing the best I can here, people.
There, that's the green lizard.
It's gotta be
No, I haven't gotten to the one that's actually, I know for a fact that was sent by itself as the Naxos green lizard. Hold on. We're getting
That
there.
thing looks
That's the Naxos green
Gotta
lizard.
be a male and a female though, right?
I don't know.
Looks
I'm bad at this.
Are they dimorphic?
Smitty could tell us.
Oh my god. I know for a fact that's a Naxos green lizard because that picture was sent alone with the label Naxos green lizard.
Go back to the previous one. I'm looking at the head on this one.
Yeah, those are the same, I think.
Yeah.
I don't know, dude.
Go to the other lizards that he sent.
So these to me look like younger. Like these two to me look the same, but either sexually dimorphic or younger. This looks like something completely different, in my opinion. Because like you can clearly see the plates right here and the very cut off on the head. This one looks more like a monitor almost. This looks like a micro mangrove monitor, in my opinion. But regardless,
all of them.
Freaking incredible. It's probably my fault because I don't know why I save pictures in order and I upload them and they get mixed up and I'm like, why did you do this to me? Now I just look like a fucking idiot.
I don't know any of those European lizards. I'm like, I know what an Italian wall lizard looks like.
Yes.
So he labeled, I know these first group of pictures are Erhard's wall lizard, Ammo, sand boa, and ladybird jumping spider, which was the first spider I showed.
Cool. I love the jumpers.
And obviously this is the Amidites. So I think all these are the Erhard's wall lizards.
Okay.
With this one being the Naxos green lizard. Fairly certain because that was the way it was sent to me. Regardless, that's a fucking cool lizard. Like that thing is so cool, man. Oh my god. I really like freckly stuff. Like
it looks like it's decent size too, like probably 6-7 inches at least.
At least.
Yeah.
How's Naxos spelled, Jake?
Naxos. Naxos green lizard.
I'm gonna use the technology that God has provided us.
But he goes on to say, thanks for all the support from you guys. It means a lot. Looking forward to herping with you in the future. And I will say Nipper Reed is probably number one on my list for people I want to herp with one day.
Oh, Gabe left. I was like, what's the other one? Erhard's wall lizard?
Yes. Erhards.
They're all so variable. Yeah, that one, that the pure green one, you're right, Jake, is an Earhart's wall lizard.
Yeah, I kind of figured just because of the way Nipper sent them. This wouldn't have been so bad if they had saved the way that I.
An Earhart's wall lizard because of the way it is.
You can tell it's an Earhart's wall lizard because of the way it is.
Amelia Earhart, that's where she died, right there.
Yeah. But it seems like the Naxos green lizard was the one he needed, and man, that's such a cool lizard.
Honestly, though, 12 years, like that's impressive. That's really not that much time if you really think about it. Like
it's a long time, but to get every single herp in Europe in 12 years is fucking incredible.
Yeah, it demands work. Like
yeah, oh yeah. I mean, Nipper is the definition of freaking dedicated, dude. I mean, what a guy! He's a freaking legend. Dude, goals to herp with him one day without a doubt.
Dude, Nipper needs to come to South Carolina and do some herping with us. Like,
apparently he's in Pennsylvania right now.
What?
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah. I was like, what the fuck?
Hey, it's only like a 5.5, 6 hour drive. Probably like
no, it's not.
It's probably like an 8-hour drive.
It's 10 hours with no traffic, and that
no traffic. Hey, you know what? 10 hours
and
is
that no, it's not. But if you go during the day, that 10 hours turns into about 14 because you have to go through Washington, and I only know this because I did it. So not pleasant. Anyways, thank you so much, Nipper, for writing in and kind of giving us more background on finishing your European list. Huge congrats to you, my friend.
Congrats.
Like, I
mean, that is impressive.
Yeah, that is an incredible feat that you have accomplished, and nothing but respect for you. So everybody, if you're not following Nipper Reed on Instagram, holy fuck, please change that because he is a god among men, and I believe he's just Nipper Reed on Instagram. So look him up, follow him, quit living under a rock. Next write-in's a quick one from Mr. John Calloway, and he says so he had a write-in our last episode. And he said, went out herping the next day as well and picked up some black racers and a little stink pot. So there's a stink pot for you, Jack.
Sonic Kernid.
I like them. I like them a lot.
Black racer. Keep up the good work, John. He did send me some other pictures personally, but since he didn't send to the page, I didn't know if like he wanted to keep that more low key. But he did find some other very cool stuff. So shout out John Calloway. He is Calloway Critters on Instagram. So you should go follow him. He's pretty local to me.
He's a great dude.
Yes.
Good dude.
Next we have Chris from Reptiles and Oddities. Another turtle for you, Jack. He said, found this little girl while trucking, so I helped her across the road in her direction. Is that a boxy?
Yeah, it's a boxy.
Nice. Beautiful. Thank you, Chris. He is Reptiles and Oddities on Instagram. Next we have, of course, Mr. Devin Phrase. Never disappoints, and this one's a fucking doozy. And he sent me a lot more pictures after the fact, of which I will share next week, because I have this like thing that like once I save all the write-ins, it's done. I'm pretty much cutting it off. A lot of people after I respond will send follow-ups with more. At that point, I've already saved everything and it's in a certain order, and I don't want to do people more than once. So we're going to save these next ones because he sent me 26 more photos or something afterwards, or 28. So we're going to save those for next episode. Sorry, Devin, but your first ones, very much more than enough. I was insanely impressed with a lot of these. Devin has absolutely crushed it recently. So I'm just gonna kind of click through some of these. He said, I know that's a lot, but that's a nice mix of herps from Maine, New Hampshire, and Massachusetts. I've probably seen 200 snakes or so this year. I was pretty excited about the Northern Black Racer, 5 Eastern Milks, and countless spotted turtles all at the same spot. The double flip with an aberrant stripe milk was definitely my best find so far this year, and we will get to pictures of that.
That's such a cool shot.
I love that picture. Devin's really good at taking some of these photos. Yeah, it looks like he cut his hand a little bit there. The dude's killing it on milks, man. Like Jesus Christ. Wait till you see this aberrant one he flip, man.
Dude, that garter is so nice.
Yeah,
that stripe on the side.
Yeah, he's freaking killer. Looks like he's got a little bit of a meal in him too, right there.
Yeah.
Look at our boreal Nerodia.
Yeah, like they're. So this was one of them. One of the bigger milks he flipped. This was the Northern Black Racer that he was excited to find. Looks like he's got a tick on him.
It does.
Nice.
Yeah, Devin, when we were on that herping trip, was so excited to see racers because racers are very uncommon by him. Up until that herping trip in April 2 years ago, he had only seen one DOR ever in his life.
Jeez.
And it's crazy to me.
Because black racers are like probably in the top 3 most common species here.
Yeah,
dude, they're probably yeah.
I know he probably saw numerous while he was down.
Oh yeah, he saw
only 2, and they were both babies. Yeah,
really?
Yeah,
that's shocking.
In this burn that we hiked, yeah. God.
Oh my God.
If I could just go out and find milk snakes, I would be a very happy person.
Dude, I mean the red on that thing. It looks like a corn snake. Like it looks like
legit.
Yeah,
it looks like that like Northwest Alabama type silvery corn.
Yeah,
yeah. Dude, that's nice. Oh, look at this.
God damn it. I love him.
Jack, did I tell you I found 2 spotties a couple weeks ago?
You did not.
Yeah.
I thought you had bad luck this year for spotties.
I did. It's the only 2 I found this year.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
At work or?
No. It was I was at another park.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Dude.
Fuck you, Gabe.
Wait, what's that? I don't know what that is.
Yeah, you don't know.
Identify that for me.
You don't know nothing about those.
That's a nice one too.
This is a cool picture laying in the
in all the bullets
and the pistol casings.
Yeah, just go to a gun range and find one, and I
look at this thing, dude.
Oh, dude.
Massive.
Look at the pattern.
Look at the what the fuck? Look at
you know what it reminds me of?
Look at the apparency.
Vipera.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, that's exactly what it looks like. That thing's freaking huge too.
Yeah, that thing's a tank.
Jesus.
Goodness.
This was a double flip he did.
Oh, and look, that other one's got a little aberrancy towards the back end.
Well, the other one looks like a corn snake. Like
a lot of times you will see the milks have a lot of attaching saddles.
Yeah.
This here is insane.
That's the potential to produce striped milks right there. Look at I mean, like God, that beautiful.
I think New Hampshire has something about field collecting or
I'm not saying I'm just
saying no. I'm not. I'm saying I would have found this, like the potential to break the law would have been high.
Well, I'm willing to bet if that's popping up in an adult like that, like give it 5 or 6 years, like keep herping that spot. Like there's probably a good chance you could come across a striped milk snake.
That was a joke, by the way, everybody. I would not break laws, especially when it comes to.
We do not condone illegal activities.
No, we do not condone illegal activities, especially when it comes to collecting snakes. Please do that legally, because if you don't, that's how more laws get in place for everybody. So you're just ruining it for everybody else. That was a joke. But the want would have been there because this is fucking incredible.
Yeah.
Like, Jesus Christ. And then this motherfucker just.
Okay, they look a lot bigger in the pictures. Than
They do,
are.
but that's a big milk
It's
snake.
still big for a milk snake, but it looked like a 4-footer.
Yeah.
Yeah, that wasn't no 4-footer.
Yeah,
That's so freaking incredible, man. The double flip too. Yeah. Jesus Christ.
That was a trip. There, he had a decays in there too.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Another garter. Oh, ring neck. I think a trip to go herp with Devin might have to be in the future for us because what the fuck?
I gotta find my I gotta find my South Carolina milk first. I got
yeah.
Hey, Gabe, don't be that guy. It's like, I have to find you in South Carolina first. Shut up. You can go somewhere else and find them.
You just did the same thing.
Look, yes, I did, but that's a coach whip. Milk snakes are a lot different. And also, it's going all the way to fucking New Hampshire for it. All right, shut up.
And the turtles, dude. I want to
go. You know, if anything, that just should push us harder to find one in South Carolina.
Yes,
and then go see Devin.
We really need to take a upstate trip.
Yes.
Yeah. Again, since we just did that.
Yeah. No, upstate.
More upstate.
Up upstate.
Elevated upstate.
Yeah.
It's more like upstate to the west. Like we were at the North Carolina border. We were upstate with Jack. It was just on the wrong side of the upstate.
We just needed to go like 2 hours west.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And south too, honestly.
Yeah, exactly. So shut the fuck up. You guys telling me more upstate. Fuck you mean
elevated.
More upstate.
Elevated upstate.
Listen, you're looking at like
oh, you mean like actually up, not up in the state.
Up the hill.
You're talking up in the elevation, not in the state.
We gotta be right close to the Blue Ridge.
Yeah. Gotta go Clemson.
Let's do it.
This motherfucker and all these milk snakes, man. Like this just
and they range from like chocolatey brown to like orange.
Yeah. Jeez. I mean, this is ridiculous.
Hey, how old do you think that milk snake?
Wait.
Wait, stop. We're getting to that. We're getting to
what the fuck was that?
Chill out for a second.
Based on your milk snake growths of yours, Jake, how old would you think those milk snakes are?
Oh my God.
Right.
They're either 4 to 5 or 10 to 20. Like there's no in between.
They get bigger up there though. Like because they fill a little bit of a different niche from what Devin and Zach were telling me. So they probably
don't really have any like rat snakes up there, right?
No. Yeah, so that's the only big snake.
They're kind of filling that niche.
Yeah.
Exactly what Jack just said.
Yes, that's Captain Obvious for today with your obvious answer.
Yeah, thank you, Gabe, for pointing that out. So the next write-in is from the legend himself, other previous guest on this podcast, Mr. Rob Stone with High Plains Herp on Instagram.
Look at it.
This was actually a second batch of pictures. He says second batch is a handful of local western milk snakes and a juvenile yellow belly racer from a couple weeks before Florida. Highs in the upper 40s and cloudy, but friends were out, and it was flipping, though the buckskin one was out trying to pass.
Oh, look,
that must be the buckskin one.
Yeah.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Jesus, dude.
I think those are some of the best looking North American milk snakes out there, hands down.
Yeah.
Some of the best looking North American snakes, man. Like that's
killer.
They look exotic.
And there's the racer.
That's cool, actually.
Yeah. Are you surprised?
Yeah, I just thought racer. I've never heard of a yellow belly racer.
Yeah.
Well, it's like our juvenile black racers. They'll kind of grow out of that pattern.
Yeah.
I wish they'd keep that pattern though, because it's so fucking cool looking when they're babies.
And then These are some pictures from Florida that he found.
What?
Gabe, you and I can both go fuck ourselves.
Yeah,
Um,
I'll see you in the bathroom after this, so we can take this picture with us. Like,
dude, it actually sucks. Rob actually hit me and Sky up to herp with them that weekend, but we neither of us were able to. And just to really like kind of pour salt on that wound. What's that, Gabe?
motherfucker.
What's
That
that?
is a southern hognose snake. That's
What the fuck?
Oh my god. Oh,
Yeah.
what?
Yeah.
That's a big target for me this year. Like I got to knock that off the list this year.
His exact message to me were if y'all weren't too cool for school, you could have also hiked up a Simus today. So
Would you reply? I'm gonna go kill myself now.
yeah, basically. So that was cool. But again, yeah, it was Florida, whatever. So
But
Hey,
it's
it's
just
just
a
no matter
Simon.
where you are.
yeah,
It's
Simus is a Simus.
Look at that snoot.
He sent some really good. Rob's also a great photographer, so he sent me some finished photos of this butte.
You can see how they're like more closely related to westerns than easterns.
Oh yeah, they look way more like a western than an
Like
eastern.
genetically wise, they are more closely related to your plains hognoses and those western species than any of our easterns.
Yeah, for sure.
I thought you were about to say you can see why they call it a hog.
Yeah, you can see why they call it a hognose because of the way it is.
You can tell they also found an Diamondback.
God, killing it, man.
Yeah, they absolutely crushed it in Florida, man. And then this is a really cool picture. He says on a local jaunt, so he's in Colorado. He said on a local jaunt wound up splitting between two tornadoes forming. Both ultimately were EF2s, just the 4th and 5th in Denver area since the mid 90s.
I'm not gonna lie, guys. I've always wanted to do the storm chasing where they drive through the tornadoes. It just, I want to try it at least once.
No.
Yeah, no, I'm good.
Abort. Yeah. There's aliens inside of that thing, man.
I want to
abort mission.
Like, no, I mean,
yeah.
Nope.
Well, again, that was the write-in from Mr. Rob Stone of High Plains Herp. Thank you so much, Rob, for sharing those. Y'all absolutely crushed it in Florida, and obviously had some great finds more local to you. So thank you very much for sharing, and I'm very upset that I did not get to go with you to Florida. So let me know on the next one. I'll make it happen. Not going to make that mistake twice. Next one is some of my favorite write-ins, just for the actual wording of stuff, from Mr. Wild World of Deming on Instagram. His stories never fail to make me laugh. He says, party on, herpers. Today I wanted to send in 2 pictures. The first one is a checkered garter. This is a little neonate. It is probably only a day or 2 old when I captured it. He's a cute little fella. The next picture is a red-legged frog I found in someone's crawl space before I went and did an inspection. So I captured it, removed it, and took it to a better location where I had fresh water because it was almost dried out. Before releasing the frog, I heard this is the part that made me laugh. Before releasing the frog, I heard there's a rumor going around. If you kiss a frog on top of the head, chug a beer, and yell Flippin Tin, that you guys will show up and go herping with whoever does this ritual. I proceeded to do this 12 times, and all that happened was I got blacked out drunk, and got salmonella from the frog. So I guess you can say it's like spending the night with Sky and Jake. That was a fun one, but definitely some awesome finds, man. Definitely keep the write-ins coming. We certainly appreciate it. Really cool frog.
Yeah, look how orange. Like, that's really cool.
Yeah, Thing's awesome. I see why they call it a red-legged frog. Next, and our last one of the day comes in from Mr. Ben Bailey from rural.reptiles2 on Instagram. He says, "Hey guys, got a few snakes for you and a new species, which you can't say too often in the UK. Almost 2 weeks ago, I had a real good few days where I had a bit of time and the weather was decent. So on the farm, I managed to get about 7 grass snakes, and then I headed out to the adder spot and managed to find 3 females under one felt, all on top of each other, which was pretty cool. The best part, though, was I went away to see some friends in England, and we were headed up to London Zoo one day, about 2.5 hours traveling from Portsmouth. I had planned, if we had time, to try along Regent's Canal right behind the zoo to look for invasive escape. What?
The Asclepian snakes.
Yes, thank you, Gabe. The Asclepian snake, Zamenis longissimus.
Yes.
There are 2 populations in the UK, one being next to and in London Zoo, and the other next to Welsh Mountain. The Welsh population is said to have been escaped zoo stock that have been around since the 60s to 70s, I think. London Zoo deny that the London population came from them, and some people generally believe they've always been around, as they are fairly common species in mainland Europe. Anyway, I had about a half an hour before heading to the zoo, and within that time, I found 2. Say it again, Gabe. Asclepians, which was fucking insane. Only got phone pictures, but I got a few video clips too. The most interesting part to me is you have all these people walking up and down the canal, and the snakes are literally cryptic basking next to their feet, and people just have no idea they're there. So this is one of the grass snakes. That's another one. Oh, I feel like I'm about to sneeze. Another grass snake, which I love these European grass snakes, man.
Yeah.
They are so freaking cool, dude.
You know what they remind me of as far as like comparable to something we have here?
Giant garters.
They almost remind me if you bred like an earth snake with a garter.
Yeah.
Yeah, like if you cross an earth
snake made them huge.
And made them huge.
Yeah. This was the female vipers he found.
Oh my god,
which is freaking incredible.
I don't know. That's it. That's the Asclepian.
Yeah, that's the Asclepian snake. That's
okay.
Looks a lot like a rat snake.
Yeah,
dude. Their colors are cool. They're like Jap rats almost.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was dope.
Like, I would not be opposed to like taking like a 2-week long like European herping trip and knocking out some vipers and stuff. Like,
yeah, absolutely. That's on the list.
Yeah.
We have been cordially invited by Mr. Nipper to go with him. So that's happening one day, one way or another. So absolutely. Maybe we can hit up Ben while we're out there. And then this is a video he took of the area he was at.
Do you think British people are scared of snakes or not because they barely have any venomous snakes?
I mean, they really only have one species in Europe that's even considered necessarily medically significant. I don't know. That's a good question.
Like, if that was in America and there's just a snake like that, like people would freak out about it regardless of what snake it is. But maybe British people don't care. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm sure there's still plenty of people that generally hate them. But yeah, that was, in case anybody missed it. So this was the area he was in, and this is where he found the Asclepian snake. Just right outside the area.
Oh yeah, that's the canal behind the zoo.
Yep. And the snake is right there.
It's kind of crazy you spotted that.
Yeah. Freaking awesome, man. So huge congrats, Ben. That's awesome. You found those, and sounds like you had a great week of herping, man. Keep up the good work. We certainly appreciate the ride in, and please keep them coming. To everybody else, herping season is here. So send us your write-ins. I feel like we have the same people every week, which I'm not upset about. Y'all keep them coming, but we also want some new names coming through. So if you're listening to this, get out, do some herping, and send us some pictures and a little story to go along with it. You will get featured on the episode. It is kind of cool. Like during the winter time, we definitely didn't have nearly as many write-ins. It was more so people like sharing previous stories, which is also okay. If you have a previous story that you'd like to share with us, please do. Be happy to share it on the show. But it has been really cool as spring and summer have come around. We keep getting more and more and more every week. So that's awesome. But thank you to everybody that's continually been writing into us. Please keep them coming. We definitely take time out of every show to make sure every one of them gets featured. So with that, any closing remarks there, boys?
Y'all keep up the good work and like happy herping, dudes. It is season 2025.
Yeah, it is upon us. It is mid-season, and yeah, keep it coming. Happy herping, and keep flipping that tin.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, this is episode 28 of Flippin Tin. Thank you to everybody that joined in for the live. Most of our shows are pretty visually oriented, so if you're listening to this on Apple Podcast or something, it's definitely worth tuning into some of the YouTube version, or even better, hanging out with us live. So if you can do that, we're live. We try to go every other Thursday. I've been really bad about doing a post to promote it beforehand. I've been insanely busy with life. But I'm going to try and get better about, letting people know before the day of. Yeah, we're going to try and get back on schedule for going every other week. So we should be back in 2 weeks from now. I believe Rack Nerds is recording tonight as well. So keep a lookout from that. Snakes and Stogies will be coming out Monday as long as they do it. I know Phil had some personal stuff going on with his fiance, so they had to take off for a week because they had to make a run out of the country. So they should be back Monday. Then next Thursday, we should have a THP lined up. So make sure you're listening to all the shows, a part of the network. We're happy to be a part of it and everything THN is doing. So with that, everybody have a wonderful morning, evening, night, whenever you decide to listen to this. We certainly appreciate everybody that tunes in week after week. We would not do this if it wasn't for y'all. So thank you very much. And thank you, Jack, for joining us once again for another great episode of Flippin' Tin.
Always, fellas, always.
All right. Y'all have a great night.